Oh, hey, didn't see you there. Cousin Randy coming for you live from the kitchen, chugging Shan here because I'm scrubbing my hands clean of this narrative that's going around about a Dallas Cowboy. Let me get this chug in and then I'll chant. All right. Like I said, I'm done. I'm over this narrative that Zeke's done. He's not. Zeke's coming back with a vengeance this year. Everyone's acting like he's over his prime. He had over 1,000 yards last year and 10 rushing touchdowns. Not to say he almost had 300 reception yards and 2 touchdowns. The guy had 1,300 yards total from scrimmage. He was still a top 10 running back. And I know you don't like fantasy. That's fine. But the guy's been a top 7 running back last year, top 4 the year before, 9 the year before. The guy's producing, okay? He's producing. He had his second highest yards per carry ever. Back to when he was 2017, 2019, he had 1,300 yards, all these epic seasons. No, this was a great yards per carry season. The offensive line's healthy and better. He says he's in the best shape he's been in years, and he's healthy for once. They're going to run the ball. Yes, Pollard is good, and he's the lightning. But Zeke's still thunder, and they don't say lightning and thunder. They say thunder and lightning because he's the priority here. Zeke's coming back with the vengeance and going to take over the NFL running back game again. T-Money, G-Man, what do you think? Boom or bust for Zeke this year?
Hey, so Randy's bringing it with the Cavs jersey. Thunder and lightning. Hey, Tony Pollard certainly looked like the better back last year, but I do agree with Randy that Zeke is the thunder. If Zeke performs better, I think he will get more touches.
Yeah. Well, do you think he's going to, though?
Well, do I think he's going to? If he performs better, is he going to have a resurgence? I don't think, if I was a fantasy guy, I wouldn't be too excited about him because of Pollard. And I think Pollard's going to cut into his touches just like he did last year. And hey, we talked about Fournette a couple shows ago and the need to kind of, you got these running backs that are getting older. I'm not saying Zeke's old, but
he's got a lot of miles on him.
He's got a lot of miles on him. And I think as they get older, why not split up some of the touches, make them last longer?
Yeah, and that's what I've heard a lot of people theorize is they're going to try to keep Zeke fresh, right? It's not about just crushing it every single game. It's mainly down the stretch, big games, playoff games. They want Zeke to be able to be Zeke in those games. And so that's where he's going to shine, and Pollard will kind of take the load away from him. I think Zeke's going to have a very good year as well, but I'd be worried, man. McCarthy's saying that he loves the way Zeke looks. Zeke's in the best shape he's ever seen. So McCarthy is backing Zeke. I think everyone just assumes that Pollard's going to be there and that and that Pollard was better. But Zeke said he was injured last year and had a hamstring problem. I got to believe him. Like I said, like Randy said, he had over 1,000 yards. Like, people are bashing this guy like he's falling off a cliff. And I get his yards per game are coming down, but still had over 1,000 yards. He was still a top 10 running back in the league by total yards and rushing yards. So, I mean, give the guy some credit. Like, he's not falling off a cliff. He's just not the number 1 or 2 wide running back in the league like he was when he came in.
He had some big stats for the year, but the guy was terrible down the stretch, averaged just 3.5 yards a carry and 3.7 yards per target over the final 9 games. That's not going to do it, man. Overall, right now, he's ranked 16th in the league. He's behind James Conner. He's behind Javonte Williams. I think the guy is fired up. I think he is coming in to prove something. I mean, he's got to be sick of hearing this. Yeah. And here he is coming in, man. And I want to ask you a quick question here about this. Who do you trust the most? When you look at these backs, I'm gonna tell you where they're ranked right now. These 3 backs all had injuries. Tell me which one you would like to have on your team if you were an NFL owner. You like Zeke at 27. He had a PCL ligament injury, supposedly partially torn. He's 27 years old. Saquon coming off the ACL, 25 years old. You got Cam Akers coming off the Achilles, 23 years old. Which guy would you want on your team this year, man?
I'm going to go with Saquon. I think he has less miles and the most talent. of those guys. And Achilles just scares the living crap out of me. Zeke does have a lot of miles on him. I think potential wise, I think Saquon could have a mediocre year for himself and match Zeke's numbers. But if he's back to himself, he could lead the league in rushing. So I think or Saquon is the best of those three.
Yeah. Okay, I kind of agree with you there, man. Hey, when Prescott and Elliott entered the league together, they both came in 2016. Elliott led the league in rushing in 2 of his first 3 seasons. So they were giving him the rock, man, those first 3 years. And, maybe that's starting to take a toll on him.